One of the most coveted areas is lips, right? Everybody wants their lips to look really great, but majority of patients are very, very scared that they would look like a duck. And that's because there are so many cases of bad lip filler out there. So you never want to go somewhere and people are like, you had your lips done, right? That is not the art of having subtle fillers. You want people to look at you and be like, you look beautiful, not know what you've done. To make sure that things look very natural, you have to be able to read the anatomy of the patient, and you have to be able to restore the anatomy. And then if you wanted to have a little augmentation, if you wanted to restore them and have a little bit bigger lips, you have to keep certain ratios in mind. These ratios are not set in stone because people of different ethnicity have different ratios. For example, if you're African American, you can have a lot bigger upper lip ratio to lower lip ratio, right? It could be like half and half, 50 to 50. But if you're a Caucasian woman and you have this big upper lip with a tiny lower lip, you are going to look like a duck, and it looks absolutely unnatural. So when restoring somebody's lip, we have to look to see if the roll around the lip has disappeared, right? When that goes away, your lipstick starts bleeding. This is very, very common in people who've had a lot of dental work, including orthodontic work, or they have had a lot of smoking where you've had collagen loss around the lips. Or with just the aging process and sun damage, you get a lot of atrophy around the lips. So by creating a lip liner, you can roll the lip back to where it is, keep the lipstick where it is, and really open the angle of the mouth. Now you can hydrate the mucosa part where you actually put the lipstick, and then you can create an amazing effect. This actually can help people with a gummier smile, because if your lips are not flimsy, they can actually cover right over your gums when you smile, and they won't roll up and expose most of the gum that you see in the upper mouth.
When you look at a human lip, you can see that there is a ratio, normally 1/3 to 2/3. That's very true for Caucasian. And this whole quadrant has to fill in the 1/3 distribution of the face. When you have this kind of balance, you look natural. Now, what you also want to take a look at is the ratio between the nasal tip and the chin and the lips. When these ratios get altered, the person can not look very natural or fresh. Sometimes the lips can get dehydrated, and the radial lines around the lips and the dryness of the lips can make it look aged. By being able to restore the anatomy of the lip, you can actually take the person to look more natural, but not really have bigger lips, and create more of a hydration and more of a profile. To be able to restore the lips, you have to understand the anatomy of every corner, right? If you don't understand how the philtrum column works, how the cupid bow looks, where the tubercle is, then you will create an unnatural lip, and that will always look like a fake smile.
Now, in addition to looking straight up at the person, right, there's a profile view, and you want to make sure that the lips are not projecting outward like a duck, and you want to make sure they line on top of each other. There's also a ratio between the upper lip, the lower lip, and where your nose and your chin begin. And when you keep those ratios in line, the person looks very natural and they have a beautiful profile. And that's the key to looking really great, right? Not everybody wants to look done, but everybody wants to look beautiful.